expecting anything from the Lakers, if we're really being honest about it? I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not the Knicks. Please don't get me wrong on that. They're not the New York Knicks. And oh, by the way, the New York Knicks, even though there's no reason to expect anything from them this year, I think the Knicks will be lucky to win 30 games. Hell, I might go to 25. They'll be lucky. Because since Porzingis is not back and there's no timetable upon when he's going to return, the New York Knicks have two missions. Two missions this season. No, three. I apologize. Three missions. Number one, David Fizdale has to remind folks that he can coach. Because he can coach, ladies and gentlemen. He can coach. And what happened in Memphis was not his fault. That ended up with his exit coming out of Memphis. It was not his fault. Now, we all know Mark Jackson was my first choice, but we also know why. It wasn't just basketball. It was a culture change. But I like David Fizdale a lot, and I think he's going to do a damn good job. Okay? But here's the thing. He's got to remind folks of that, number one. Because when players decide where they want to come, the coach, whoever's coaching there, has a lot to do with a player deciding to make that choice or not. So that's point number one. Point number two. Kevin Knox got to ball out. The rookie has to have promise. Knicks made the right pick in selecting him, in my opinion. Okay? This kid Porter that ended up going to Denver, ladies and gentlemen, they had reports about him having back issues entering the draft. And I've heard about it since he's gotten drafted. Hell, I heard about him standing up in the draft room, the night of the NBA draft. And he had to get up because his back was stiffening from him sitting down so long. So let's be clear about this. We got to call it like it is. And the reality is, we don't know what the situation is going to be. But Kevin Knox, drafted 9th overall out of Kentucky to play for the New York Knicks. Let me tell you something right now. I like the kid Sexton that got picked up out of Alabama, but it went a slot before the Knicks. And I'm sincerely hoping, even though I doubt that it will, I'm sincerely hoping this isn't a situation where the New York Knicks are going to draft Steph Curry, but he got snatched the pick before and they had to settle for Jordan Hill back in 2009. Now, I'm hoping this ain't that kind of situation. I'm hoping this is the kind of situation where Kevin Knox shows up. And if he shows up, that's very important. Point number two. Point number three. Porzingis has to come back this season. Absolute must for the New York Knicks. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not guessing. I'm telling you what I know, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me and quote me on this. Porzingis has to come back and remind everyone what he can do and what he brings to the table. Because if Porzingis does that, okay, if he does that, then it will make you more attractive to the 2019 free agent class. When the Kevin Durant or the Kyrie Irvings or somebody is thinking about coming here, they're going to look at Knox, Porzingis, and Fizdale. By the way, I lied. There's a fourth element to all of this. Keep James Dolan the hell away from everything. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not saying he did a bunch of things wrong. But the fact of the matter is that the reputation of James Dolan in Madison Square Garden in the James Dolan era is not impressive. Once upon a time, I was told LeBron James would never consider New York as long as James Dolan was the owner. That's what I was told. Now, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to him feeling that way. I know that's what I was told by people close to him. James Dolan has to deal with that reality. You better hope that Kevin Durant doesn't feel that way. You better hope that Kyrie Irving doesn't feel that way, and I don't think they do. And having Steve Mills and Scott Perry at the helm, I think it's helpful. They do a great job, in credit to Steve Mills, of ingratiating himself with executives around the league. And in the case of Scott Perry, he does a great job of evaluating talent. But the Lakers situation is entirely different. But here's the beauty of it. If you're LeBron, you're playing with no pressure. You ain't got to worry about tying Jerry West to somebody else's record in terms of all-time NBA Finals losses. You won 3 of them, but you lost 6. Well, now that you out west, you ain't really got to worry about that. Because likelihood is that you'll lose before the finals, and if you're good enough to get to the finals, you'll probably be good enough to win it. Because if you knock off Golden State, who can't you beat?